Can you see that? I get these all the time now. These strange crop duster, whatever they are, kind of planes. But yeah, I think that. So, one of the things that I found out, right, at the very beginning was the fact that so much of what we perceive as far as like physical machines aren't really that in nature, you know? When I used to for a while I was seeing a lot of like glowing orbs in the sky, like UFOs, and I would notice. I mean, this went on for like a year and a half before even I was like really like the whole targeting thing really started. I would capture like, blinking glowing orbs in the sky. And I noticed that some of them, a lot of them, like they would hang in the sky. And then once, I guess maybe you noticed them, and I'm talking about you'd watch these things just sit in the sky for like, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes. And they just sit there in a uh, stationary motion. And then suddenly you'd see them start to move. And then as they'd start to move, you'd see uh, them start to you'd see the orbs start to spread out, and then the orbs would start blinking red and blue, right? Red and blue, red and blue, red and blue. And I learned that even a lot of these things that we see up in the sky, they're not terrestrial vehicles. And I say not terrestrial, I mean they are made and controlled by intelligences other than humans. And they know, like, they're smart enough to understand that most people aren't even really going to investigate the details of a situation like that. I mean, the average person is not going to have the type of camera that can zoom in halfway across the sky. You get me? So, most of these things are just, they're orbs, like they're probe-like orbs, and they're just, you might literally just see a formation of them, and they're just blinking in these red and blue colors. And if you see that from above, you're just like, oh, that's a helicopter. Oh, that's a plane. And then you go back to doing whatever it is you're doing. It's really interesting, man. It's really interesting. And then like you find out more and more that say hi. You find out more and more that yeah, these vehicles, even the cars, man, they're not, a lot of them, they're not really, that's not really what they are. I've said that a million times, but I feel like I have to say it a million more times because it's just like, I know it's a strange concept, and I'm sure most of you have seen or have had encounters with such things, but it's just, I know it's a weird concept to grasp, but that's just the way it is. And to go even one step further, a lot of these vehicles, cars, I've even seen it with boats. Remember the movie Transformers? When I think it's in the very first one, and maybe they've done this, they did it multiple times throughout the films. I don't remember them doing it. I only remember it one time in all the films. But in the very beginning, like first one, the very first like opening 10 minutes of the movie, you have that scene where like a helicopter shows up at this military base, and it's like it's not cleared. It's unannounced, non-cleared, has no clearance, whatever. And everybody starts scrambling, like they're freaking out, like give us your clearance, and it doesn't. It's just like radio silent, right? And there's that scene where like the helicopter lands, and right before it transforms into that giant, into a giant Decepticon, whatever the hell it was, they pan in to the cockpit, and there's a pilot, and the pilot's like really like just non-human looking, and the pilot just kind of turns his head, and you see that it's just a projection. That's real. That is very real. Like, that's not there. They did. That's actually real life. They didn't make that up. I've seen that before, where I don't know what the car was or what this object, this machine that I was perceiving as a car was, but there was no person inside. It was just some type of projection. It was weird as hell. And I've seen that, and I usually catch it on video. Oh man, there's a guy, his name is like something Mouse, and I think it's like a Russian channel, maybe not, I can't remember. But the guy he captured so much of exactly what I'm talking about. And you find, like, especially in his archive, you find dozens of videos where you see things like boats, man. Boats out in the sea. And what was going on the surface of the boat was all a fabrication. It was all just like a bunch of people from The Sims. Because it wasn't a boat. Right? So whatever that object was, it wasn't a boat, but they constructed or projected the comings and goings, the doings of a series of characters moving back and forth, you know what I'm saying, on the surface of the boat. And that's not what was going on. Like, this is real as hell. I've seen it. I really got to figure out, oh man, what that guy's channel. I haven't been on that guy's channel in like a long time, but he was one of the few people that like compiled that type of phenomena, those type of visuals, you know. But I'm just seeing that more and more, and I just really feel like as we get deeper into all of this, and as the great unveiling, the great revealing, the great apocalypse, all of it continues to unveil, you're just gonna see weird stuff with vehicles, man. And you have to get it out your head. Like, these necessarily don't have to be, like, these are not necessarily vehicles in the sense that, like, somebody's getting in the car and driving the car around from point A to point B or whatever. Like, these are things all together. Like, these could be, you know, advanced type of craft. They could be intelligent machines. Like, I'm not getting directly into Transformers territory. Like, I'm not talking about, like, you know, it's gonna turn into Optimus Prime, but I'm talking about automated, highly advanced machines doing their own thing. Alien machines doing their own thing, you know? So sometimes you want to look a little closer when you hear about strange car accidents and weird stuff on the highways with strange cars. I mean, you hear about stuff like that all the time too, where it's like they chased the car and the car just suddenly vanished. Well, it probably started cloaking, or it just took off and flew. Who knows? Anyway, that's my nighttime rant. And that's a dog barking. Have a good one, guys.